What's up? Hello, hello, hello. Uh-oh. What's up, beautiful people? Okay, I was delayed. I was trying to see if I was on and my little timer wasn't showing. But what's up, beautiful people? It is Coach Alicia, and we are here with another Wellness Wednesday. So you already know how we get down. For the first 3 minutes when you come in here, we're speaking positivity, we're speaking life, we're speaking joy, and all the great things. So right now, as you are coming in, go ahead and tag your people, tag your friends. Tonight is going to be very exciting as always. But I want you to go ahead and put in the comments some affirmations. What's your affirmation for this week? What are some goals that you have accomplished this week? What are some things that you're working toward that you're excited about? But we want happiness in the comments. So go ahead. We're going to use these first 2 more minutes to spread the love, spread the joy in the comments. But also, tonight's topic I feel like it will definitely benefit everybody to hear it. However, it is more tailored towards our educators. We have so many educators in here. So if you are an educator, go ahead and drop in the comments right now. Let us know where you are, what you do. If you're a teacher, superintendent, principal, whatever you do, let us know if you are working in that education field, in that career. We want to celebrate you, and this will be tailored to you tonight. So again, we have a few more minutes as you are coming in, but listen, I want to take the time to also say that I am so proud of you guys. I am so proud of you. I've been seeing you post your pictures. You're talking about your accomplishments. You're showing up for the lives. You're catching the replays. And that is what it's all about. So as you all are continuing to go on this journey, I want to let you know that I am proud of you. We are all proud of you. But I need you to be proud of yourself. So even if you haven't reached your goal yet, keyword yet, do not stop. You don't reach your goals by stopping. You can slow down a little bit. I know life be lifing sometimes, so we can slow down, but do not give up. We are rooting for you, and I want you to root for yourself. But we have a little bit, like 20 more seconds I'll allow. So go ahead and tag your people, tag your friends, put those positive affirmations in the comments. And again, if you are an educator or work in that field, please let us know in the comments. This one's for you. That's what Usher say. This one's for you. You, my number one. But it has been 3 minutes, guys. So I am not going to waste any more time. I'm going to bring on our special guest. And she is so beautiful. I'm going to let her introduce herself. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are, what you're about, and then we'll get into tonight's questions.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you so much for having me this evening. My name is Tiffany Spicer. I serve as a superintendent. I live in Texas, Southeast Texas, so out by Houston. Beaumont area. Yes, it's hot all the time. But my E2M journey has been awesome. I was working out beforehand. My father had a stroke and a heart attack in 1 year, and it got my attention, and he got my attention, told me I got to get my life together. And so over the last, I'll say about 5 or 6 years, I've been working out, but I had become stagnant.
Mhm.
And so a friend of mine who lives in the Carolinas, she was like, Spicer, you need to join E2M. So this is year 2 for me. And if I tell you, I've been transformed, and I get the opportunity to share my story with other educators, because in our field and in other fields as well, we're always getting. We're pouring into people, pouring into people. How may I serve you? How may I help you? Right? But a lot of times we're giving and giving and giving, and your cup and your vessel becomes empty. And so for me on my journey as an educator, but also as just as a person, as a mom, as a sister, as a mentor, I try to make sure I fuel myself first, and I work out early in the mornings, 4:45 to 5 o'clock in the morning, Texas time.
Bless you, Lord.
And
Bless
then
you.
I go to work, and then I pour into other people. But I start rejuvenated, if you will, because I've got to take care of this temple, this vessel, on my mind and my heart and my body. So that's just a little bit about me.
I love that. So you say you've been with each one for 2 years.
Hmm.
Of those 2 years, what are some major accomplishments or not even major, but I don't care if they're big or small, but what are some accomplishments that you would like to share with people to keep them inspired?
Okay, so I have taken up this whole running thing, right?
Okay, run thing.
Was not a runner. You only run when people are chasing you, right? But I started. I joined Eager to Run.
Yes.
I bought a coach. I have a coach now, Lindsay Brooks. Whoop! Shout out. Hope you're
Shout
on
out
here.
to Lindsay.
And so I've been running, and
Okay.
so for me, I've joined a couple races, done some 10Ks, done a half marathon. I have another half marathon coming up in Dallas. I'm excited about that one. I have another half marathon after that coming up in Detroit, where you run from Detroit to Canada. So you
Oh
get two
wow.
countries in one run. And what I'm training for is my first marathon. So that will happen in November. And I saw
Okay.
some of our ladies are in this race in November in Savannah, Georgia, Every Woman's Marathon. So some of us from Me Too are going to be there. Hopefully we have shirts or something. I guess we talked about it, but it fell off. But anyway, that is a big goal for me. Never ran a marathon in my life. In my life, the most I've done is 13.2.
Okay.
So 13.1. So I'm excited about the 26.2 that's coming up in November, but I'm training for that. And again, it's really about me and what I can do. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you just don't believe it, but I'm just like, okay, I can do anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to push myself. And by me pushing myself, my team sees that in the office. My
Yeah.
teachers see that people's lives are changing and they're starting to take care of themselves as well. So I give myself permission, but also
Yeah.
give them permission to take care of themselves because we're taking care of kiddos, we're taking care of families and communities all the
Hmm.
time. So that's me, but it's come through E2M. I would not be doing any of this if I was not a part of this family and part of this community.
I love that. So, speaking of educators and those in that field, what
Mhm.
would you say, from your experiences talking to them, what are some of the challenges that you hear from them of why they can't exercise or even sustain living a healthy lifestyle? Why they think they can? Because clearly you have proven that you can, but what are some of the biggest challenges that you hear from people, like why they can't, continue to sustain it?
Time. That's the first thing that comes to mind is time. We're always at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wake up, you eat something, not necessarily paying attention to what you're eating. You're just like, I put some in my mouth. I gotta go to work. I gotta be there to beat the kids to work, be ready for the kids, feed the kids who are not like your own, but your students, right?
Yeah.
And then you're working all day. So even on planning periods, you're working through that. A lot of us work through lunch. So you get that 20, 30 minutes, and it's really not your time. It's just a time to eat, read, and make sure you're ready for the next lesson or the next meeting or the next whatever. And so even after the day is over, in air quotes, we still have night events. So for principals, if you're a high school principal, you got Friday night lights in Texas. That's the big deal. You're there at work. So you might get a little break or a little reprieve, but you go back to work. Or kids have a concert, you have choir, you have band, you have fine arts. So we're all over the place for everybody else. But what I've learned, because I've lost about, I want to say about maybe 80 pounds of the last 5 years. Yeah. So if you look at my pictures on my Twitter, you'll see the whole journey.
Okay.
But it was a point in my life where I was like, okay, I got to take care of me because I don't want to die on the job. And so there
Mm-hmm.
have been superintendents, at least in Texas, that I know who have died doing this job because they're not taking care of themselves. They're always trying to do the job. And so what I remind myself when I tell my team and when I speak to other educators, I was like, here's the deal. You're replaceable. I'm replaceable. So if I die today, they'll cry, they'll mourn,
Yeah.
but my job will be posted. They'll be looking for another superintendent, right? And so that's a thing that's kind of resonated with me, and I kind of keep that at the forefront. So take care of myself. So I think as leaders, whether you're in the classroom or central office or superintendent, you have to give yourself permission, but also give your people permission to take the time away. You know, if you need to go take a family and a personal day or mental health day, do it.
Yeah.
If your child has an event, go to it. You know, if you need to work out, get up a little bit earlier, get it done. You'll be so refreshed anyway, right? Because you got your workout in, and then you'll go meal prep Sunday. Meal prep, put your meals together. A lot of times we're just eating. Okay, what's fast? Anybody ordering in the office? Okay, push my order in and we'll get it. And usually when you order, you're not ordering healthy, right? And
Right.
so I'm kind of just thinking through those things and being proactive and planning. That has helped me, in this program and this group of people in this community have helped me, because even when I don't want to do right or I don't post, I'm like, I'm reading stuff. I'm like, shoots, let me go do X, right?
Yeah.
And so that reminds me, but it also helps me to remind other people that I serve and support. And so we can do it. It's hard
Yes.
sometimes, but we can do it.
I love that. And the key things I want, a couple key things. You said a lot. That was a lot of great information. A couple key things I wanted to point out because we have members all the time that are new to the program that reach out like, oh, I'm a teacher. I work through my lunch. We hear that all the time. What's the best way to get my meals in? But as she's stating, guys, first of all, making sure you prep your meals and making sure you prep a meal that you can eat on the go. Like sometimes people do salads, or those are just easier. And I know I have never tried one, but I know they have like the heated lunch boxes where you can like heat your food up in the
Oh,
lunch
wow.
box. Girl, it's on Amazon. But yeah, so different. There's so many different resources out there, things that you can use in order to like warm up your food. Because that's another thing we hear a lot too. It's like, oh well, I'm not able to warm up my food, so that's why people tend to do like more of the salads or foods that could be, on the cooler side of things if they're in a lunch box. But just making sure you are, just exploring different options to exploring different recipes and meals that you can eat while you're at your job, but don't let, oh, I'm busy or I'm working all the time be an excuse of why you don't eat,
Yeah.
because people don't realize it, but when you don't eat, it's not like, oh, I'm not eating a lot, I should be losing a bunch of weight. No, if you are not fueling your body or putting the proper nutrients in your body will hold on to that weight that you have, and it will slow down or either stop your progress. So it's so important. That's why we always encourage you to make sure you're eating your 2 to 3 meals. So even if you have to adjust your fasting window, if you need to eat a little earlier, or we encourage fasting, but for some people lifestyle, it just doesn't work out that way. So if you need to be flexible with it, then definitely do so, but don't skip a meal because you're like, oh, I'm just trying to do. No, eat, baby, eat. And another great thing that you pointed out is getting your workouts in early. A lot of times we say, well, why do it when I get off?
Mm-mm. Too
Yeah,
tired.
how many times did it actually really happen? So, making sure, and if this is a change that you really want to make, it's a little sacrifice that you have to
It's
just get
work.
up a little earlier. But once you get in that routine, you start feeling
Mm-hmm.
good,
Yeah.
you start seeing the results, you will be like, oh, this is worth it, and it will become who you are. What I want to encourage each and every one of you to do is don't look at working out as a chore or something, oh, I gotta do. No, you look at it as something that you have the ability and you're blessed to do, and you can't,
Yes.
what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
this is something that should fit in your routine, like brushing your teeth and washing
Mm-hmm.
your face, exercising, eating. Don't look at it as something separate, because as long as you look at it as something separate,
Mm-hmm.
it's so easy for you to get ignored when
Yeah.
life gets too busy. It's like, oh, it's an option. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
not an option. You definitely have to make sure you're making time for it. So those are really great. And when you're just talking about like working all the time, and I get it, like we all have these different jobs, and
Yeah.
it may, a lot of things are probably asking us depending on the career. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a book out there, and I'm just doing a shameless plug. It's called Rest to Resistance that I'm reading right now, and it talks
Mm.
about grind culture and then the importance of rest. Guys, rest is important. Rest does not make you, and I think a lot of times we confuse rest with laziness or being unproductive. That's not the case. Rest is very much a human like thing. So, to your point in the beginning, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you continue to give, and you're not pouring back into yourself and allowing yourself to, reset with
Mm-hmm.
that rest, you will burn out.
Yeah.
And the goal isn't to burn out and then rest. The goal is to make sure you are prioritizing that rest within what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
those are
Absolutely.
really great points. And then my next question for you is, what are some of your priorities, and how? Well, you kind of mentioned it just now, but how do you stay disciplined and motivated to sustain them?
Okay, so priorities in my life, and this is personal and professional. My faith is first,
Yes.
and then my family, and then my health, and then my career. And I've just kind of gotten to that, realizing my priorities in the last, I'll say, few years. And so that keeps me focused. It keeps me, I'll say, disciplined, because if those things are in order, I can do a great job in my career while I'm serving others. But when things come out of whack, that's when everything falls apart. And so just keeping my faith first and making sure I'm taking care of my family, because people know if something happens with any part of my family, I'm out. I'm going to go check on them and make sure they're good. But then after that, my health, I work out daily. And it's part of the routine. Just so you talk about brush your teeth in the morning, I get up, I do my devotion. My clothes are already laid out. I put them on. I'm like, okay, get up, go get the replay, knock it out, whatever the exercise is for that day. And so it's become it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's a choice. And it's something that once I finish, even if I wake up, I'm just like, oh, I'm not feeling it today. It feels so good when it's over. So I have to tell myself, even if I'm just having one of those mornings where I'm just like, this ain't the day, I still get up, I push
Yeah.
through, because when it's over, I feel so accomplished. And in my mind, if I can do that, I can take on anything. Any
Mhm.
parent who got a complaint, any teacher got a complaint, anybody who's mad about whatever, I'm like, bring it. I'm
Yeah.
ready because I got my
Yeah.
workout in. So it's become like a lifestyle, and it's my daughter's there in E2M too, and so we live in 3 different cities in Texas, but we also end up working out at the same time too. So I have accountability with
Okay.
them.
I love
We're
that.
up and we're like, are you up? You up? And so we're doing that. And then my friends on the East Coast, and I have some other educator friends in Texas that have joined me in E2M too. So we're all getting it done. And so just to know that I have that community, and people are, even though it's personal, it's still about other people, because they're also looking to me to make sure I'm doing my part. And so I feel like I have an obligation to
Mm.
continue to take care of myself, but also to, I'll say, model and mentor, so that they'll be like, wait, she's still doing it. And her life and her job is crazy right now. So I can do it too. So again, that back and forth camaraderie with my peers, family members, kind of just also helps me have that accountability. And so it helps. And of course, just seeing the posts and everything, the sprint classes, the running classes, E2M Premium, I'm in there too, trying to get the glutes up. So all those different things, it just provides that accountability, but also just keeps me focused and disciplined on the journey.
I love that. I'm glad you brought up Eats One Premium. With that being said, guys, if you don't know about Eats One Premium, definitely visit eats1premium.com to learn more. But when it comes to time, those workouts are definitely time efficient. Like they're
Yes.
15 to 20-minute workouts. You get it done, you burn
Yeah.
in. So definitely check out Eats One Premium. It's a great addition to have within E2M, in addition to E2M. So don't sleep on premium. And you would kind of actually, I had two more questions for you. You kind of
Yes, ma'am.
answered my next question was pretty much like, who are you doing this for? A lot of times we always tell you guys to like know your why, what's your reason for doing, and sometimes, well, most of the times we always hear, well, I'm doing it for my kids, or
Right.
I'm doing it for, my parent, or
Mhm.
whatever the case is, or I'm doing it for my peers or whoever. And so you pretty much already touched on that, so I won't necessarily go deep into that. But I will ask an additional question to that, as
Mhm.
far as how did you discover your why? I know I have my ways to try to encourage people to find their why, but how did you know? I know that I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for others, being that you are a role model for so many people younger than you.
Um, when I was working on my dissertation, so this was like in 20, I don't know, 15, 2016. I had gained a lot of weight, right?
Mhm.
And so daughters playing volleyball, we're club volleyball, so working, traveling right across the country because they're playing ball and you got to be there. And work my dissertation, running my high school, and so that was, I think, the biggest point size wise in my life, right? Um, and that was also a conversation I had with my father. And
Mhm.
life starts happening, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what and when it just hit me, but it's just like, you got to get your life together,
Mhm.
you know. And so I had kind of like a revelation, if you will, where it's just like, okay, you got to get this together and take care of this. And so it had to become about me. You know how you need to do better, but you're like, I'll get to it, whatever, right? And
Mhm.
so it just kind of hit like, Tiffany, you got to get your life together. And so a lot of times we see our friends, we see family, we want to encourage them, but they have to figure it out, their when and their why on their own.
Yeah.
And so that happened for me. And so I was just okay. You finished a dissertation, got one kid out of high school, got one more left. Let's get to work. And
Yeah.
so it just became about like, I have to take care of me. I had other people telling me, girl, you better take care of yourself, right? But I had to come to that realization first. And
Yeah.
so once I did, it was like, okay, yeah, I do need to take care of me. And so the journey began back then. And so as I've kind of like, I'll say, evolved mentally and physically, I've come to know like I gotta do me, because a lot of time we're always pouring, pouring, pouring. Whatever role you have, you're pouring into somebody else and somebody's watching you. And so for me, it was like, okay, you have all these responsibilities, you gotta stop You got to take care of this, and the rest will take care of itself. They'll be there. It will be there, whatever it is, right? But I got to take care of this. And so that's back then is kind of when things kind of happen. And so just kind of getting to this place the last 3 or 4 years, it's just like, okay, game on. This is my lifestyle. This is what I believe. This is what I know I need to do to be fully me and fully, I'll say loving me too, to where I love myself inside and out. Am I where I want to be? No. Do I have some pounds I want to lose still? Yes. Am I trying to tone up? Yes. But I feel so much better, and I'm getting older, about to be 50 in a little bit, right? I'm getting older, but I feel so much better than I've ever felt in my life. And so I'm doing this for me, but I also know my me and my why is also impacting other people, whether it's people in my family or people in my community or people who are in the education field.
Okay, I love that. So we are actually kind of coming up to time, but I wanted to ask you to just share any advice that you have for all of our members, but especially our educators that's here in E2M, that is trying to sustain this lifestyle because it is sustainable and you
It
can do it. We have this beautiful, beautiful young lady right here that has, pretty much shared all the gems of how to make sure you get it done. So, what's your last comments of just advice for the members in this group? And then I'll have you make sure you let people know how they can stay connected with you, all the great things, and then we'll close out.
Yes, ma'am. What I would tell you is this: is start today. Everybody's like, I'm gonna start on Monday. I'm gonna start on Monday. Don't wait till Monday. Today is Wednesday evening. Get some rest, go to bed, reset, start tomorrow, which is Thursday. And just do it, even if it's 15 minutes. Drink your water, have your windows, and just do it. Find an accountability partner. That is a lifesaver in the gym. And then just do the workouts. For me, working out before school starts is the thing to do because you never know what's going to happen with your day. So just make sure that you prioritize you before you prioritize everyone else. Yes, school starts for all of us in a week or two. Some of us sooner, some of us later. But as it starts, just don't forget yourself because you have to fulfill yourself first to make sure you can take care of other people. I do have a website. It's my name, TiffanyTSpicer.com. And it talks about my superintendent journey, but I also have another blog on there that talks about it's called Running Soup, and it talks about my running journey and the beginning of it and as I trained for this marathon. So happy to serve, happy to be a part. Thank you so much, Alicia, for this opportunity to serve and just share my story.
Thank you so much, Dr. Spicer. And I just want to say, all of my educators out there, and especially you, I just want to say that I would love to give you your flowers. So put some fire emojis, some clapping hands in the comments because, I mean, listen, you guys are amazing. You do so much for the community, so much for all the kids coming. Like, I just feel like that career alone does not get enough praise because you are literally shaping the minds of our future. And it does not go unnoticed. So thank you so much for sharing your time and sharing your beautiful experience with us. And guys, again, as she stated, start today. And if you're like, oh, it's getting kind of late, well, you can start tomorrow with our cardio hit at 8 o'clock a.m. So make sure you join cardio hit tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time. And then you already know on Fridays, we're coming at you live with the Friday circuit at 6 o'clock a.m. But again, thank you so much. And to you, keep going, guys. I'm rooting for you, and we're just gonna keep on going until we finish out this 8 weeks. All right, love you. God